Okie dokes, folks. Yesterday I kind of realized that I never did my MLB update, which is wild, because I usually never forget stuff like that. So I do not understand. As my dog jumps on me, yes, say hello to Daisy, everybody. Okay, I took her for a ride to get my coffee, and she's been all over the place. Okay, and as you can obviously tell, every time I'm in my driver's seat, my dog loves to jump over to me and, basically take over my steering wheel. Okay, so, before we know it, my dog's really gonna drive instead of me. Okay, and then, once I get my Tesla Model X that I really want, my dog thinks she's gonna drive, even though it's really my car driving itself. So, as you can tell, we're in a little bit of a predicament as we battle driving, because driving is already crazy in Massachusetts. Okay, because every time I get in the driver's seat, I'm always petrified with the folks around me who didn't really understand what was going on during their driver's ed courses. And so, I'm super worried about what they're doing. At the same time, I got my dog wanting to jump into my lap, and do have my dog jumping into my lap. So I've got multiple things going on at the same time. And then once I get my coffee, it's like, oh my goodness, I have like 10 million things going on at once. And it's like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And my dog's taking over the video right now. It's like, oh my goodness. But you know what? We're going to power through it. All right. Together forever, right? We're gonna these are all good moments, right? Any moment is a good moment. Any good moment is a good moment, and any good moment is a better moment. So, just be thankful for everything that we have, right? Especially my dog, right, Daisy? That's right. So, obviously, the big deal for today is, like I was saying, I forgot to do the MLB update yesterday, which is a very rare occasion and something that I usually don't do, and so the big talking point for the MLB update, at least for today anyway, is what in the world is going on with baseball, okay? The sport, how do you play it? Well, no, that's not really the question, sorry. Because a lot of us do know how to play baseball. It's a pretty simple sport. It's a fun sport to play, and that's what I love about it. I just love the simplicity behind the sport, and yet, players can make it such a great one. So that's one of the reasons why I love this sport of baseball. That's why I think it's so great. That's why obviously love watching it. Love going out to Fenway Park out in Boston, catching the Sox play. Whenever I'm able to. But unfortunately this year I don't really know what's going to happen, which leads to the question yet again: what is going on with baseball? Because I know the MLB, like I kept saying over the last few weeks. The MLB wanted to start back up at some point, now the June or July, and they wanted to make sure that they at least got players on the field, right? Get the players on the field. They'll get a little bit of money from all the television and the radio deals. It's something in the bank account, right? A little bit of change, a little bit of money, a little bit of a revenue stream, and obviously this has been such a major point for me. Because I love the whole financial side of sports. I think it's great. The majority of the financial aspect of a baseball team and a baseball organization does come from getting fans like myself into that stadium. Right through those gates. Not only on the tickets, but parking, concessions, so on and so on. You guys know the drill at this point. I've been talking about it so much. So, it's making the money from the TV and the radio deals. It's not, it's definitely a good amount of money. I'll admit that. It's not 100% of the revenues, but guess what? It's like 50 or 60% of it. It's better than the 0% they're making right now, okay? And so, a while back, the MLB brought a deal to the Major League Baseball Players Association to get baseball back up and running either June or July, somewhere within, the next month and a half, which is great. I thought it was awesome. And we need baseball now more than ever, okay, due to the COVID-19 epidemic and all the other things going on throughout our country. Because sports has always been such a great unifier, right? And this is another thing I love to preach too. Baseball brings community together. You know what I mean? So in times like this, when our community is like so torn apart and so divided and so on, Baseball can be the immediate relief of that, right? It can bring us. Baseball can be just one of those things that can bring us back together, be ready to rock and roll, and it gives us something to look forward to. Because there's a lot of things going on right now, right? And there's been a lot of bad news. Turn on the television, a lot of bad stuff going on. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is, go onto Facebook, go onto Instagram, Twitter, wherever you go onto social media, right? And especially Facebook. Facebook's bad, like terrible about this. All Facebook does is share a whole bunch of terrible news, and it's sad to see. We're already so stressed at this point, especially with the COVID-19 epidemic. Wondering, like, are we gonna get it? Is somebody we know, we love, gonna get it? Like, what's going on? Because the problem with it is that it's so easy to spread. And if you live near a hot spot like I do, all I have to do is travel 15 minutes and I could be in a hot spot, and I could, walk into somewhere to get whatever. And I could have my face mask on and I could still get it. Like, it's scary. It's really scary. So it's the whole idea of stress. And, due to stress, there's a lot of times when we are unable to sleep. And, it spirals into a lot of different things, right? And I could go on and on and on about it. So we need baseball right now to bring us back together. And what better way to bring America back together than the classic American sport called baseball? Okay, you hit the ball with a wooden bat. You got a whole bunch of guys on a field, getting millions of dollars to play a simple game. And of course, the MLB is now saying, oh yeah, by the way, we don't really know if we're going to come back and play or not. It's like, what are you talking about? You just brought this deal to the Players Association, okay? And now the Players Association is giving a hard time because, of course, the players don't want a tiny bit of a pay decrease out of the millions upon millions of dollars that they're making, even though there's billions of people around the world wondering where the next meal is going to come from because they're not making a paycheck because they're out of work, okay? Because their companies literally cannot go back to work because it's unsafe, it's not sanitary, it's not good for their employees. So nobody's there's a lot of people not getting a paycheck. And the players in the Player Association, they're like, oh no, we don't want to take a couple $1,000s off of our paycheck. Who cares? What does it matter? You're making millions of dollars. Just take a tiny pay decrease and play. Just do it. It's super frustrating. So now it was just that one deal that they brought to the Players Association, and now essentially the MLB wants to give up. Okay, they're like, oh, we tried, we really did, but we don't know what to do now, so we're just gonna give up and not play anymore. It's like, no. America needs baseball, and baseball needs America. This is a great way for the MLB to come up with a whole bunch of new ideas on how to play the game of baseball, how they're gonna set it up for the future too. Because guess what? This is gonna be a major trial and error year. Okay, and if they don't play this year, they're not going to learn anything new whatsoever. They're essentially, failing themselves. So by the time we get to next year, guess what? Next year, there's a pretty darn high chance that, fans will be able to go back into the stadiums, whatever that may look like. And guess what? They won't have a clue on what to do. And plus with the players, the deal with the players right now is that the players, the main coaching staff, they're all stuffed into the dugouts, right? So there's so many people in the dugouts, on every single baseball field across America is such a tight and confined area, right? So there's so many people in such a small space, and how are the players going to deal with that? How are the coaches going to deal with that? What kind of health precaution are they going to use in order to keep themselves safe, just in case if a player or a coach gets the COVID-19 without knowing it, and they walk into the dugout into such a small space with so many people, and if they don't do anything about it now, guess what? The whole entire team's going to get coronavirus, and guess what? That team's basically done. Okay? So the MLB has a lot of things they need to figure out right now. And if they don't play this season, they're not going to figure everything out. They're not. They just won't. All the upper level executives of the Major League Baseball will be sitting in their office in New York City when they're able to get back to their office. And they're going to be like, what do we do? They're going to look at each other with a blank face. They're going to be like, oh yeah, Don, it's going to be October. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, Don, we should have played this season. There's a lot we need to figure out. Watch. I'm calling it right now. So they need to play. I know all the players don't want to play, but guess what? They need to. They have stuff they need to figure out. So and they're just trying to, get out of work at this point, and they're just trying to sit on their couch and keep eating Doritos, and watch reruns of themselves absolutely dominating, at least for the 2 minutes that they did anyway. So they need to play. They need to get back in the field. They need to get rocking and rolling. And it was great because just recently the Red Sox came out with a statement saying, hey, we need to play. You know what I mean? So we're going to be over time playing whether the MLB wants us to or not. Okay, which is good because it essentially tells the upper level executives within the baseball industry, like, get working. Okay, so huge shout out to the Red Sox for that. That was extremely important. It was a great statement too. I remember reading it. I think it was very professional. I thought it was very professional, very well said. And the thing I love about it too is that it was very short and it was very precise. It was to the point. It got the statement across perfectly clear that the Red Sox need to play baseball. Okay, they have no other choice. And all these organizations across the country. I know I talked about this the other day, but I'll bring it up again. All these organizations across the country need to be making money. You know what I mean? Again, even if it's just from the radio and the television deals, they just need a tiny bit of revenue within their pockets because these organizations are struggling. And guess what? They have a ton of employees on their payroll that they need to give money to. And how are they going to give money to these folks if they're not making a dime? So the MLB just doesn't understand this. They don't. The MLB and the players don't understand that. This is frustrating too, because to me and to you, this is just simple stuff, right? Every time we think about this is just common sense at this point, and the MLB doesn't realize it. So it's frustrating. It's aggravating. The MLB actually needs to try, and hopefully soon they can actually do something for once in their lives instead of essentially not trying. So without further ado, that is the MLB update that was supposed to be yesterday, but it is now today. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. Everybody just stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, especially throughout these times of great uncertainty. And, thank you to our frontline workers over in the hospitals, the grocery stores, etc., etc. And until I see y'all next, peace out.